that is in Wisconsin, in a very rural market, that has used Instagram to grow his business from nothing to a viable seal coating, patching, crack sealing business that will eventually do millions of dollars. And he started it all with just gaining exposure in a small town.
Yeah.
But how better to reach those folks? They're going to see your trucks and they're going to see your marketing, but today's billboard is a mobile device. And so, when you get content out there, I would say there is no market, there is no place that somebody shouldn't be leveraging the power of social media.
Yeah. Is your business struggling right now? You might think that it's because you don't have enough sales, but the reality is it's because you don't have the attention of the marketplace. This is attention equals dollars. You deserve more. Your business deserves more. And I'm here to teach you everything that I know on how to get the attention that you need and to turn that attention into dollars. What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Attention Equals Dollars podcast. Today, we've got a special studio guest, an in-studio guest. Normally, we're bringing him to you from somewhere around the country, but my friend Brian Hess from Pittsburgh, PA, came down to spend a little time with us. We met on social media, and he, you're running a kick-ass company. I want you to tell us about it, but I wanted to bring him in because you're in a niche, right? Your business is a really niched it's in a super niche industry, and you're using social to get attention, to build your network both in your industry and out of it. So I want to talk about that.
Yep.
So welcome to the show.
Thanks, man.
I'm not going to do justice, man. I want you to tell everybody a little bit about you. What are you doing? And really, what's your approach to getting attention on your business?
Yeah, I think, first of all, thanks for having me, man. I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to come down here. But I think, the biggest thing with getting attention on social media, first and foremost, is I've learned that, just being yourself, so being authentic and putting out the knowledge and sharing the knowledge and experience that you have with other people really helps people be able to connect to you in a really natural way, as if you're meeting people in person, right? It's like when I walked in here today, it was no different than what I thought.
It's the first time we had met in person.
Yeah, meeting you online and then coming in here, it's really no different, because as long as the person that you're meeting is authentic online, that's exactly what you get. So, so my strategy was that I've always had a passion for trying to help people. In addition to the Pavement Group, our paving company, we have an online platform and coaching for other contractors called Top Contractor School. And so really we've taken that whole idea of helping clients and helping other contractors and just taking it online to try and, help those people. What better attention can you get than trying to help others through the process? And whether that's through knowledge that we pass on to property and facilities managers that would be our potential clients, or on the contractor side of being able to help salespeople, owners, entrepreneurs that own construction companies improve their business. It has helped drive a lot of attention our way on the social platforms, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, all of them really.
Well, and I think what's interesting about what you're doing is obviously being in the construction industry with the Pavement Group, and business is still growing, doing very well, but you saw the value and the benefit of online, mobile, online consumption, technology, and now you've kind of spun really all the IP up here of what you've done to build that, how you've scaled your company. Now essentially you're packaging that and selling it online, and the way you're going to get exposure on that obviously is the network that you build, and the way you're going to scale your network is social. Talk to me about, what are some of the ways that you're using social media now? Obviously your online platform isn't quite ready yet, right?
No, not quite yet. Probably a couple more weeks, maybe a month. We'll have everything polished up and ready to go. But that same content is available basically person to person now, or through video calls. So
what, you have the Home of the Hustle, and that's initially how we met. We run in the same circles of the big personality that we follow, and that's kind of how we connected. And I realized you were close, and now here we are. So you're obviously putting content out online. A lot of people that might be in your same, situation with another company in the construction space or another industry that has built a business, they're well into their career, and they're like, why the hell would I start? Why am I going to get on social media? Talk to my audience about what has come from your brand presence? I mean, our relationship was a good example. We'd never be sitting here if you hadn't jumped online and done that. So give them an idea of what your online brand awareness has really generated for you.
Yeah, I think it's interesting, because I wasn't anti-social media, but I never really wanted to, put myself out there the way that I have recently. And so it kind of all started, end of last year. I got connected with some of the guys from Home of the Hustle, and we started, doing some live streams on social media and Facebook. And so the response that I got was really positive. And what I figured out was that a lot of the knowledge and a lot of the things that were, kind of up in my brain, that sharing those were able to help people. And so one of the things I started doing was just a quick 1-2 minute video talking about whatever topic I was challenged with or I was working through at that time, and putting it out there for people to consume. And so the response to that was really shocking to me. Getting thousands of views on a video that was, a minute, 2 minutes long, that just maybe helps somebody in their situation that they're working through right now that's identical to what I was working through. Right. And so the response to that, and what I was just telling you a couple of minutes ago here before we started, you get analytics of who is actually consuming your data through social now. Yeah. And a lot of those people who are consuming the content are other contractors or potential clients. And so now when we are calling on potential clients or our list of prospects, they already know who we are. And they don't know us from trying to sell them something online or trying to convert them into a client. They know us by...
You've provided... I'm breaking stuff back here, Ty. So you've provided them value, and this we specifically were talking about on LinkedIn. I hope that's all that breaks. I might end up on the ground here in a minute. If you're listening on iTunes, shit is breaking here in the office. So we're talking about it on LinkedIn. So really, I think the value there is you've warmed up what used to be a completely cold call. You've warmed that call up because you can see that Luke Nesler from this company consume this piece of content, that it could be completely value driven, not a call to action in sight, but they consume that piece of content. So when you do reach out, there's the, hey, yeah, man, I see your stuff online, which is way more warm than somebody that's like, wait, who are you? So it's understanding and knowing how to use that technology. You talked about getting the premium subscription on LinkedIn. I get asked all the time, how do you use LinkedIn? Well, you don't use it the same way you use Facebook. You use it Correct. More guerrilla marketing tactics like what you're talking about, to where you put it out, you look and see who consumed it, and then maybe you see if they consume another piece, then you make some type of an outreach to them. I do it all the time. Yeah. So is that the main way you've been using LinkedIn, or do you have any other secrets?
Yeah, no, I mean, that's really a major way. I teach people, one of the things that I teach, our own folks in sales, and that we teach, other contractors in sales, is the idea of a cold call in the first place. A lot of people think that it's meant to, to make a sale by calling somebody out of the blue. And the idea of a cold call is simply to get somebody to know you and to know your company that doesn't currently know who you are. Right. And if you accomplish that through a cold call, and you provide them a level of value, or how is my company able to help you, right? Not I'm going to help you today, but how am I able to help you? What value do I bring? Then you've accomplished what you want to accomplish. And so in a way, these pieces of content that I'm putting out there that are really not related to, paving necessarily. Some of them are related to how they would, how a facilities manager would get value from our company. But it's just knowledge in general. And if I see people repeatedly consuming that value, it makes it really easy to convert them to a client. So they're no longer, like you said, a cold prospect. But there's a bunch of different ways that you can go about it, but it's really putting out there what's going on in your life, right? What are you working through? What do you see as challenges that you're working through, and how are you processing those things as an entrepreneur, as a salesperson, as a business owner, whatever it is, and other people connect to those real situations that convert into how you solved your own problem is a way that they can maybe solve their problem.
So, but what about the folks that, let's say they're in the construction space because it's relatable, and they're like, man, I I have no interest in utilizing social media, but they're still in their early to mid to late 30s, which means they got a lot of career left in them. They're not 65 years old. What about that person that's like, look, man, I just don't like social media? Is it something that even in an industry like you're in, it's going to be critical in order to continue to grow and scale? What do you have to say to those folks?
Absolutely. I think that the people that don't embrace social media are missing a huge piece of the market.
Even if it's in a get your hands dirty type of an industry, like construction and paving and contracting.
Dude, I've got a guy that I know that is in Wisconsin, in a very rural market, that has used Instagram to grow his business from nothing to a viable seal coating, patching, crack sealing business that will eventually do millions of dollars. And he started it all with just gaining exposure in a small town.
Yeah.
But how better to reach those folks? They're going to see your trucks and they're going to see your marketing, but today's billboard is a mobile device. And so, when you get content out there, I would say there is no market, there is no place that somebody shouldn't be leveraging the power of social media.
Yeah, I think in something I've been thinking about a lot here recently, and the relationship that we've built is a prime example of it, and some of the other people that are mutual acquaintances. B2C versus B2B, I think the big play, speaking specifically to the B2B folks, the big play on social media is not looking at just the targeted ads and how much traffic can I get to my site. I mean, that's obviously what we do for clients. It's an important metric. But it's really looking between the lines and figuring out how can I build more relationships. Brian and I would not be sitting here together if it weren't for social media. We realize we run in the same circle. We realize we talk to a lot of the same people and are doing work with a lot of the same people. So it wasn't an ad that hit you to where you went to my website, you converted as a lead. It literally is. Have you ever heard of BNI, Business Networking International? So it's a great organization for small local business owners. Social media, if done correctly, is a BNI at scale. You can build a relationship with somebody in Nashville, Tennessee as easy as you can in Pittsburgh and Las Vegas and bring them all together, and it builds your contact base, which is how you're going to grow and scale your business.
So let's go back to the beginning of time of how I ended up in the circle that ended up introducing us. And it's a great story for your type of business and what you guys provide as a service. I was on an airplane in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and I got a social media ad from a company out of Las Vegas that I clicked on the ad and I put my information in, and the salesperson that called me the next day is how I ended up in this circle, ended up on Home of the Hustle, and ended up ultimately coming here. Was originally from a Facebook ad from, by the way, a company that I didn't even think it was possible for me to do business with because of the scale and the customer list that they had. I was like, I just had an opinion of their business based on my own perception that was almost reversed by that social media ad.
Exactly. Well, and to add another element to that, you're talking about Brad's company, right?
Yep.
So this is how small of a world it really is. I was in the exact same office of the company that hit him with an ad the same week, and we might have ended up being in the same casino at the same time, and we didn't know each other yet. Yep. So what happens is it's this big spiral, and everything spins, and if you're not using social media to reach out and land grab and meet new people, you're just in the middle of this thing and it's spiraling around you and you have no idea how to leverage it. The way to leverage it is to look at it as a relationship building tool. And you have to be the one to take action sometimes. I've seen Brian's stuff online. I don't know why, but one day I looked at his profile and saw that he was from PA. He's literally 45 minutes, an hour away from where we're at. So I reached out to him. So I took the first step to build a relationship that who knows what comes from this. Right. Maybe he never does business with me. Maybe I never do business with him. But maybe he turns me on to somebody else that turns into a multiple six-figure client. It's just the more people you know, the better your business is going to be. So when you're sitting on your phone and you're not doing anything to build your brand, build your awareness, and network with other people out there, you're not growing. So then there's people like you and I and the people we hang out with that's the real play for B2B, is to use it as a networking tool. Would you agree?
Yeah, and I think that people have, in a lot of cases, have a negative connotation of social media because of personal things versus business things. And so it turns them off personally for some reason, right? Somebody made a comment that irritates them or whatever the case is. And so they say social media is bad, right? And it's not that social media is bad, it's that people use it for the wrong reasons. But if you are a business owner and you are using it for all the right reasons, my social media used to be just personal, me connecting with people, keeping in contact with people, that I went to high school with or college with, or people that moved away that I haven't seen in a long time and I get to see their kids or whatever. And it has transitioned into, I primarily use it for business because it is a way for us to grow our business, become a brand that is recognizable, and become a person and a company that is trusted through the information and resources that we put out.
Yeah, I completely agree. Talk to me about, this is off topic, but you told a story when we were sitting in the conference room talking that I thought was super powerful. We're talking about scaling and growing, and obviously the more attention you get, you're going to have more manpower to fulfill the work. So I told you some of the struggles we're going through with trying to find high-performing team members to add to our sales team. And you were talking to me about your interview process. Are you comfortable sharing that one question? I don't want you to give your secret away to somebody that might be trying to interview with you. So you were talking to me about, look, people are gonna BS you, and they're gonna blow up their resume and really talk big about what they can do. But you've got a specific process and a specific question that you ask everybody that I can't get it off my mind. And I know it doesn't have anything to do with marketing, but I want you to talk to my audience about that. So what's an interview with Brian Hess look like? When I come in, I sit down, I'm freaking out, I'm nervous. What's the first thing you do?
Yeah, hopefully they're not nervous. I'm probably one of the easier interviews, as I told you. I try to get people relaxed because I feel like you get the most real version of the person if they're relaxed in themselves. And what I was telling them is, when you're interviewing a person, you're making a decision for their life and for yours, right? It's not just a one-way street, So as an employer and you're bringing somebody in, you want it to fit both directions. It's not just, you're looking for the right employee. They have to be looking for the right company that fits them too. And so, we ask all the normal questions about experience and how do you do in certain situations and under pressure. And we try to ask tons of creative questions that give us a really good understanding of who that person really is. But at the end of the interview, I always just look at them and I just say, hey man, so how much of that information that you just told me about everything we talked about today, how much of that is actually the truth, 100% the truth? And their response is very interesting. And what I told you earlier is, it's interesting that even when they tell you they told you 100% the truth, sometimes you'll know based on their body language because they're so surprised or taken back by that question that they can't hide their body language of whether or not they told you the truth.
And you've actually had people admit that they lied even on 10% of it. You've had people actually admit that they just told you things that weren't the truth, and then it kind of pulled the Band-Aid off and really exposed where you might have made a bad hiring decision. So, and we've made, fuck it, we've made bad hiring decisions. I mean, it is what it is. I think it's part of it. We've made way more good than bad, but I think a big part of it, I'm thinking of one in particular. If I would have asked the question that Brian just gave us, hey, how much of what you just told me is 100% accurate? If I would have asked that, it might have saved me several thousands of dollars.
Not to mention your time.
Yeah, not to mention my time. And culture's big. I mean, this is something we haven't spoke about, but we've got the best company culture we've ever had right now. And it's because I took the first initiative to really develop it, whereas before I was like, well, I'm too busy for consistent meetings and I'll just check in occasionally, and there was no culture that met my expectations. Mm-hmm. So now that we've got it, we want to protect it, and I think that's something that will help us grow and scale. And that's what the show's all about. How do you get attention? How do you turn it into revenue? Then when you get that, you don't want to fuck it up, right? Yeah. So bad hiring mistakes can definitely fuck it up.
Yeah, and culture is a big deal, man. I always say, your culture within your business is ultimately who your business is when you are not part of it, right? It's like if you walked out of the business today, whoever's left in the office here, they get to decide the personality of the business. And so your culture and what you do every day and how you treat your employees and how you communicate and how you train them is ultimately what builds that culture. And so what you're left with at the end of the day is the personality of your business is formed by the culture that you create as an owner.
Yeah. One of the reasons I like Brian so much, and we've hit it off, is there's so many people that are great at what they do, but they're just sitting on the sidelines of social media and not showcasing their skills. I mean, a lot of what you put out, you talking about construction isn't going to resonate with me, but you're putting out a lot of stuff that helps me learn about you, right? Well, you have a lot of customers, potential customers, that also see that. Construction is a commodity. Social media is a commodity. Concrete is a commodity. But what you do, what you've built, your morals, your thought, and your processes on things is what makes you unique. So when you sit on the sidelines and you don't showcase your knowledge, your leadership skills, your hiring processes, you don't put interesting content out there, your customers can't learn about you. And they're hiring you, not the logo. I tell people we do a lot of work in the real estate space. And realtors are known for hiding behind the logo of their broker, right? That will bring me all the business. Real estate agents are all commodities. Real estate is a commodity, right? But I'm going to hire Ryan to be my realtor because maybe not even because I thought he was the expert realtor, but because he said something that resonated with me. I was like, man, I like that guy. So you're putting a lot of great content out that allows me to learn about you. And a lot of people are sitting on the sidelines not putting anything out because they're making an excuse up that people might not like me, I don't have time, and I think you would agree that it's a major, major mistake.
Yeah, I have something to say for those people that are afraid that people won't like you, because I've had that question answered. What about the people, what about the haters, what about the people that think you're trying to, listen, man, if they don't like you from the content that you put out, I'm in sales, so I value my time. Exactly. If they don't like me on social media, then they probably weren't going to like me when we met in person. Process. So I saved myself a lot of time.
Completely.
Right? By getting those people out of the funnel early. And, real estate is a good example. And, you talked about, because it's comparable, right? People look at contractors or they look at real estate agents as, this is what I need to accomplish this task, right? I need a contractor because I need to build something. I need a real estate agent because I need to buy or sell a house. Well, when I look at real estate agents, and I've asked this question to a lot of people who hire real estate agents, what did your real estate agent do in your last transaction that made it special? Mm-hmm. And 9 times out of 10, they don't have anything that they did special, right? It was like paperwork, transaction, they set up the meeting, you go in and you sign something,
They
right?
can get the job done and still be a commodity. You've got to take it to the extra level, which
exactly.
is what you're
and it's about. So you create an experience is really what it is. And so that's, in our world of what we do in construction, we provide a level of value that is above and beyond. And that comes down to, if you're a real estate agent, you ask people what the biggest complaints or challenges they have with regard to real estate transactions are.
Exactly. And
you create an experience around that exact problem that a lot of people have. And that's how you build a business that stands out or a brand that stands out, is by solving the most problems or solving the most important problems in a unique way that people, are more apt to do business with you.
Yeah, it's so true. I completely agree. Where can people find the great content that you're putting out on social media? Where can they watch your shows?
So Home of the Hustle is a Facebook Live show. We do that every night of the week. There's somebody on. I have Wednesday nights at 9 o'clock. And then my social media handle is the same on all platforms. It's Real Brian Hess, REAL, Brian, BRIAN, Hess, HESS.
And if anybody is in need of the services you provide, where's a good place that they could learn more about your company?
So thepavementgroup.com is our website, and there's phone number information. Social media platforms are all The Pavement Group, so you can find anything on social there. Awesome. And then topcontractorschool.com if anybody's interested in learning more about sales, leadership,
and that'll be live
marketing.
Soon, right?
Yeah, very soon.
Awesome.
Yep.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you being here, man.
Yeah, thank you, man.
Yeah,
Thanks
absolutely.
for having me. Appreciate it.
Listen, if you got value out of this today, which unless you fell asleep and just woke up now, I know you got value out of it because we've talked about some critical hiring techniques that you can implement, as well as social media and how Brian's used LinkedIn to generate hot, qualified leads. If you got value from this, rate, review, subscribe on iTunes. That's how we discover more people, or more people discover us. Be sure to like and share our Facebook page out, or if you're watching on YouTube, be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel. And comment below, what's the one thing you learned on this? If you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, drop a comment below and let us know what's the one takeaway you got from my buddy Brian. And hopefully you'll be seeing more of him, because we're close enough to where I'm sure we'll do some type of an event or another live stream together. Something will happen. We're way too close and on the same page for this to be the last time that you see Brian. So we'll see you guys next time. Brian, I appreciate you being here.
For sure, man. Thank
Awesome.
you. Appreciate it.
Is your business struggling right now? You might think that it's because you don't have enough sales, but the reality is it's because you don't have the attention of the marketplace. This is attention equals dollars. You deserve more. Your business deserves more. And I'm here to teach you everything that I know